You are watching Top Story this Thursday morning live on TV, and we are talking to the incumbent mayor, Mr. Mayor, Christian Provenzano, in our studios this morning. How are you after that election campaign and the anticipation of it? How does it feel this morning?
So, I feel great. I'm a little tired, obviously. I'm coming down with something. During a campaign, your body has a way of keeping you going, but when the campaign ends, your body crashes a bit. So, you know, I'm a little under the weather, but I feel fantastic. I feel really blessed, and I feel really grateful that the city responded to the last 4 years of my mayoralty and the campaign the way it did. I'm really grateful for that. So I want to assure the city that I'll continue to work incredibly hard to serve it, and I look forward to the next 4 years.
And you know what? Those numbers, man,
yeah,
they were nice numbers.
You know, we had goals. We exceeded them because you don't often see 70% in electoral politics. So we actually were hoping for a really good number, but we exceeded it, and it's overwhelming and it's very heartening, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
Now, with regards to starting anew, you mentioned even this morning, and you have throughout your campaign, that you appreciate the honor and you feel like you and the council and city staff have done a really good job on a whole bunch of different issues. Yeah. There's still work to do. Yeah, what's your plan? Do you have something in line, or? Well,
you know, and it's for the last few months I've been still working, right? So I didn't stop being the mayor. I didn't take a leave of absence from that. So, you know, in the immediate term, we have to really keep on pushing to get through the CCA process. So I'm in constant contact with Algoma and working with them to see what I can do to help them come out of this process. Everybody's aware the city has negotiated a tax deal. 2251 negotiated its labor contract, and 2724 negotiated its labor contract. So we all want to see this end now. And so I'm working on that hard. I'll continue to work on that hard. One of the things that we're doing right now is we're preparing to get the next council ready. So we have a great mix of experienced councillors and new councillors. You know, I'm really pleased with the election results. I think that the city is going to have a strong council for 4 years. I'm familiar with all of the councillors that have been elected, and I'm sure I'll have very positive working relationships with each one of them. But what I'm doing inside City Hall right now is I'm working with the senior management team to look at the next 4 years and to say, like, what do you want to accomplish? What does the municipal corporation want to accomplish? And then what we're doing is, you know, we're preparing to get the council ready, and we'll do that, and then those councillors will decide as a group what we're going to focus on and accomplish. And I look forward to working with them and to leading that group and to making sure we have a productive 4 years.
I would imagine that because, like you said, it's almost split right down the middle with incumbent ward representatives, yeah, and newcomers.
I think it is.
I would think it's always a good thing to bring new blood in.
Well, I believe in that. You know, I've said a number of times, I personally believe in term limits. I mean, you can't implement them for a number of reasons, but I don't believe people should be in those positions in perpetuity. I think renewal is good. I think experience is good, and you always want experience at the table. But renewal is good, and then you get different perspectives and new energy and new ideas. So I think the city struck a really good balance in this campaign, and I respect the process. So whomever they sent, I would have been happy to work with. But I think this is a really good group, and I think this is going to be a really pivotal 4 years in the communities. To the community's future. We did a lot of great spade work over the last 4 years. So we did a lot of great preparatory work, and we've got a lot of community leaders and volunteers really engaged in some projects to move the community forward. And you know, we're really going to hit the ground running this term. And we talked a lot about spending and taxes over the last few months, and I think the community has a much better sense now of all the work the last council did on that, and all the work the last council did on improving budgeting and looking at our spending and bringing our kind of tax rates into line. So it's obvious based on the campaign that I ran and what the opposing campaign tried to make as a fundamental issue and how the city responded. The city gets what we did. And we can build on that. So we're going to continue to focus on those affordability issues. But I'm hopeful that this council doesn't get caught up in taxes. You always have to be mindful when you're collecting tax revenue, that you're spending it properly, and that you're only collecting what you need. You should never collect more than what you need. But this next council, I'm hopeful, will focus on community development and investing in our community. We need to build the community that we want to be. And I think we're in a position to do a lot of great work over the next 4 years, and I look forward to working with all the people that were elected.
You know what? It feels like we're at a crossroads, and I think the fact that we have so many newcomers coming to council indicates that. I think that people have voted a certain way because of that. What are some of the things that you like? Infrastructure, you said.
Yeah.
We need Sault Ste. Marie needs to be the city that we want to be, and we need to start right now.
Yeah, there's a couple things that I think we need to do that off the hop that will make a big difference. We have a lot of great ideas, and you hear a lot of great ideas, and you have people from the community reach out to you and say, why don't you do this, or why don't you do this? Well, often the answer is we don't have the technical capacity to do it. So our IT infrastructure at the city was pretty antiquated, and it's still pretty antiquated. We're improving it, but we need to really make like a significant step change in it. So what this last council did was they put the resources into having some experts look at where we are and figure out how we can get to that next stage. The next council is going to have to make an internal investment in our IT infrastructure. But we need to do that. And one of the reasons why we need to do that is because people should be able to interface with their municipality online much more significantly. And you should be able to look at an app on your phone and figure out where the buses are, where you can catch a bus, right? So we're gonna move to that. And if we want to be a smart city, we have to improve our basic tech infrastructure. So that's a big thing that we need to do. Another thing that I personally believe we need to do is we underinvest in transit. It's a historic investment that's been low when you compare us to other communities, and I've asked staff to do that, and they've given me the numbers, and I'm sure the next council will get the numbers. We're not investing in transit the way we need to have a really effective transit system. We have very old buses. We go in the summer down to hour service, which one of the things transit needs to be is consistent. And then so in a few months of the year, you're switching your routes and you're switching your service levels, and you're decreasing the number of times the bus passes. It really throws people off. And
during the campaign, because we hosted the debates for the wards, we heard that a lot, that the transit system really is an issue for people.
It is, and I absolutely support an investment in transit. So I'm gonna work towards that. I'm hoping I'm a vote. But I'm a vote, but I can make the case that we need to do it, and I'm hoping I can get 5 other votes at least to actually push it across the line. So those are some two. Transit's important for our economy, but it's also important for social equity. A lot of people that can't afford a car depend on our transit, and they should be included in our community. It should be easy for them to get around. They should
like
be able
our
to get,
students
They
too.
should be able to get to and from work. They should be able to get to and from community events. So I'm a big believer in it. So those are two things that we could focus on immediately. And then we have the community plan. We have Future Sault Ste. Marie, and we've got a 3-year plan to get that underway and going. We're into the first year of that. We've got a great young team at City Hall of professionals that are working on that. So I'm really hopeful that City Council supports that project. I think they're going to. It appeared to me when I paid attention to the council races and I listened for it, there was a broad base of support for it. So, if we support that project, we're going to see a lot of great things happen. We have great working relationships at the college. We have great working relationships at the university. We have great working relationships at the school boards. So we've got a lot of community leaders in City Hall giving us advice and input. We have to capitalize on that. We have to, pick some real significant projects and community-based projects, not just municipal projects, but community-based projects, and get everybody rolling in the same direction and moving forward. And I think we can do that.
Now, you mentioned that you see that it's an advantage to have sort of a limited term for people. Do you agree that that should be the case for the mayor's position as well?
Well, I've held myself.
Yes,
to term
you have.
limits.
Yeah.
I've said very clearly that I'm going to term limit myself.
Yeah.
Because you can't believe in something that you should have renewal, which I do.
Right.
But not apply it to yourself. Right. So I believe in renewal. I believe that people shouldn't be in the mayor's chair for an excessive period of time. 4 years isn't quite enough to get things done, but 8 years is a significant period of time. And if you had 8 years, either you were successful in doing what you wanted to do or you weren't. In any case, I think you should get out of the way and let someone else try. I think it's better for our community if that happens. And I think it's more important that the mayor's position has renewal than the council positions. I think they need renewal too. There's no question. I don't think somebody should be on city council for like, 2 decades. But the reality is, that's somebody's choice, and if the electors send that person back,
right,
the electors have the right to send that person back, and then you respect that and you work with the people that the electors send. But my personal belief is that you need renewal, and because that's my personal belief, I'm not going to show up there and say, okay, well, I believe that, but I'm not going to apply it to myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to apply it to myself, and I'm going to work really hard over this 4 years. Hopefully, by the end of my 8 years, I'll have done what I set out to do, and I'll have left the community in a much better, more positive place. And if that's the case, I'll be happy to step aside and give someone else an opportunity.
Well, you know what? We're looking forward to the next 4 years. Congratulations once again. And thanks for coming in on a down day.
Well, thank you for having me. You guys have been great. I think this is a great operation up here, and I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to the community.
Good to see you, Christian. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Top Story right after this.